Everyone's still talking about the $100,000 H1B fee in 2025. But let's be honest, the bigger question is what happens next? Will H1B be still worth it in 2026? And who's really going to win and who will lose? How does it really impact the industry and the IT economy? And is America still the right bet for skilled immigrants like you and me? So, this is what exactly I will be breaking down for you today. Not just like what's happening currently, but what's coming. So, you can also plan your next step smartly. So, the first is the quick reality check of what really happened in 2025. It was really a transition year. In only about 8 months, tons of layoffs happened. A lot of people left the country. The visa fees was revised, the visa process was revised. So companies got really cautious about hiring immigrants, and now suddenly there's this another 100K plus H1B visa game. The good thing is that we're not moving forward in 2026 all blank. There's a lot of context that has been given. We are not blindsided and we are not starting from zero. We already know a lot of changes are happening, and we can expect that similar any more even more drastic changes are about to happen in 2026, especially related to hiring and people traveling, and people will definitely make choices for picking US as their study or work destinations in the future. So that is why these future predictions are super important and talk about right now. So what I'm sharing is just based on my experience and my research. So feel free to add your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as we move along. So prediction number 1. Who would exactly win from this policy changes in 2026? Will it be the big tech and consulting giants? Will they still sponsor? As per the visa reports that I have checked from previous years, Amazon hired 10,000 people on H1B. Cognizant hired about 11,000 people, and EY hired about 10,000 again this year. And there are a lot of other companies, big ones, that hire anywhere from 2 to 10,000 people every year. Now, these are also the big, larger revenue making companies who are earning like $300 to $500 billion every year. So, if we assume that they still call in people, they would have to pay somewhere around 100,000 fee for those 10,000 employees, and that would be about $1 billion. So just from this assumption, because $1 billion, it's a big number, but when you compare it with the $500 billion, there's relatively a smaller number. So from this basic calculation, yes, the big players can still afford to sponsor, and that's precisely why I feel that they will remain the main gateways for immigrants talent in 2026. Sam Altman and JP Morgan Chase CEO and a lot of other CEOs were reported saying that immigrants were a necessity for the job market, and they are in support of hiring internationals. But other than just the affordability part, what are some of the few other strategical reasons these companies will still continue to sponsor? Because these big companies, like Deloitte, EY, they actually have like financial and strategic reasons as well to keep sponsoring. Research shows that 60% of H1B visas or jobs, they are filed at lower wage levels, meaning these firms are still going to save 15 to 30% compared to if they chose to hire somebody as an experienced American worker with the same skill set. And on top of that, if you add other things that come with international workers, that is like we stay longer, because we need company support throughout our careers. And so that really reduces the turnover cost for these companies. So obviously, like $100,000 visa fee looks like a smart investment when they consider it in a long-term picture. And the second thing I feel is that we also cannot ignore the boom of AI and the technology shift that is happening in the US. There's a need for AI, biotech, security, architect roles, and every day on LinkedIn I see like there are tons of openings that are happening for these roles. So there will be talent shortages now more than ever. So that's why I think these companies will actually rely even more on the international talent, even if it is a little bit on the higher cost to them. Because even if these big companies have money to hire American workers, they still need to train them on these technologies, and training and learning takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. And because the tech company works on a very rigorous schedule, it'll still make sense for them to keep making progress, even if they have to pay a higher fees and bring in workers from abroad. So, yes, the big winner here will be these big companies, the big tech giants, because now they will get the best and best of talent, and they will be on the side of negotiation on their own terms. So, the good news is that if you are still aiming for these industries, you want to be in tech, you want to be part of the AI boom and the part of innovation that is coming up. If you are really good at your craft, there is still a strong chance for you to get in it. Prediction number two: who will exactly lose in this game? And this is the hard part, of course. Um, Now, we cannot expect startups or even like mid-sized companies to start sponsoring and paying like $100,000 fee on top of all the other costs that they have to pay for that employee. Would not risk everything on that one employee. Just think about it. These stage startups, they have somewhere around like $100,000 to a few million in annual revenue, and small businesses also operate on like max to max like 1 to 2 million in revenue every year. Now when they themselves don't have the a lot of capital to play around with or experiment, they would rather be cautious and try to get the work done in as little as possible. Sponsoring visas, getting into this 100K fee application, and along with all the other costs that already is attached to an immigrant, it's just too much heavy of a burden for them in the initial stages. And that is the ripple effect on students who are on OPT as well, because students have 1 to 2 years to get into the lottery system, and once they graduate, and these opportunities will go down significantly for them as well. So many well-funded startups like Stripe, Flex, Chime, they still might be able to sponsor because these are backed by those big corporates. So we can still consider that these would be able to continue to sponsor, but of course, I'm assuming these they would also like reduce and scale back a little bit. Business Insider showed that some of these startups actually have already gone on hiring freeze for international talents because of the chaos, and they are saying that if we were to hire somebody at $70,000 per year, then obviously I'm not going to be paying $100,000 for a $70,000 candidate. That just doesn't make sense anymore. Another prediction is that here is the big global shift I see coming. Countries like Canada, Europe, Australia will definitely be attracting a lot more talent now that should have been flowing in the US, because they still have easy entries and more flexible policies, and they don't have the 100K $1,000 entry fee on immigrants. I mean, even if I talk about myself, I came here like 5 years ago, but if I was someone who had to pick up my options today, I may have not placed US as my top choice just because how things have gotten here lately. So I'm assuming pretty much a lot of other students and people who still have an option to make a choice, I would say that look at other options as well. You can keep your US option open, but it'll be smarter to also think about the investments and the return on investments that you will be making, because it's a high possibility that after you've invested $200,000 on your education, you might not be able to get any ROI on that. So if that's something you're okay with, then you can easily come here and study. So in the future of H1B in 2026, I think it's going to be more and more competitive, more concentrated, and I don't know, maybe more policy heavy. But again, if it's about getting jobs, I think there's still a chance. Plus, there are a lot more routes to coming into the US, which I will discuss in my next video. But yes, if you do position yourself in the right industry, build the specialized skill set, and keep your options open globally, you can still achieve your dream of happily working, happily making money, having clean water, air, whatever your dreams are. So, yeah, drop in the comments which country would you choose if not the US, and I would be excited to read that. And hopefully, at least one person found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button and follow for more. Bye. See you in the next video.